take a look at the accessibility features available to you on your Chromebook. Every Chromebook comes preloaded with all of these options. And once you know what's available, they're very convenient and great to use for students with disabilities. So to get to your accessibility features, you're going to click on the little time in the right-hand corner of your Chromebook, which is your systems menu. So you might have used this before to adjust your volume, connect to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. There are other options, including your accessibility menu. So some of you might not see this, and that's just because you don't have it enabled, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This is like the quick access, so you can quickly turn things on and off. But if you go to your settings gear, it'll open up your whole settings menu, and this is where you find the meat and potatoes of accessibility. So on the right-hand side, you're going to go over to Advanced, scroll yourself all the way down, and you'll see the accessibility menu with the little person. So I have this toggled on, always show accessibility options in the system menu, and that's how this little guy shows up. So if you want to access it quickly, I recommend turning that on. If you click here, Manage Accessibility Features, this is where all the good stuff is. You can get text-to-speech options, display, keyboard and text input, mouse and touchpad, audio and captions. So I want to show you some of the highlights that I used when I was a special ed teacher and that I saw other special ed teachers using that taught me a few tricks. So one under text-to-speech that's very powerful is the Enable ChromebookVox for spoken feedback. So if you toggle that on.
Chromebook spoken feedback is ready. Enable Chromebook spoken feedback. Toggle button. Pressed.
So it's already
Press
reading
search
to me.
plus space to toggle.
And the cool thing about the ChromebookVox is that it will automatically start reading to students as soon as they open up a new web page, as soon as it downloads. It will also read the keys that they type out loud. So for example,
search settings, search, banner end, M, search result 1 of 5, monitor, press enter to navigate to section.
So you have all of these different features that are automatically read to the kids that might be difficult to do otherwise. But let's say that can get a bit annoying to just have it read to you immediately. If you open your Chromebook settings, you can turn that on and off. You can do different pitch changes depending on if words are capitalized, how punctuation's read. There's a lot going on in here, and I recommend just going in and playing with it to see what works best for you and for your students. You can even change the voice. So if you don't like the robotic voice, there are different options and different languages. Very nifty feature. Even as Braille, I get really excited about Chromebook. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I am going to turn it off because I don't need my screen read to me right now. Under display, you can enable high contrast mode. So there might be some kids that have this as an accommodation on their IEP or 504. You might be used to seeing high contrast on paper. Also an option under accessibility in your Chromebook. You can also change your text size. I know some kids have that as an accommodation as well. You can go to very large if that's what your kids need. You can customize your fonts. So in case one font is harder for a kid to read than the other, you can do that as well. The magnifier is also a handy tool. So it will show whatever your student highlights with their mouse, just larger up top so they can see both on the screen. Again, a ton of different options. Fiddle around with it to see what works best for your students, because that's what this is really about. With your keyboard and text input, you can put the keyboard up on the screen You can get that right there. You can enable dictation for your speech to text, different highlights. You can do different keyboard settings depending on what you want the kids to have access to. Under mouse and touchpad, you can change the color of your cursor. You can show it large. So if you ever see kids with the giant mouse cursor and you don't want that, that's one of the possible ways they could have found it. Under audio and captions, you can get captions going for kids. Different color options, background colors. There's just a ton under accessibility features. So I recommend clicking around, checking 504 and IEPs, talking to your special ed teacher, your consultant teacher, and seeing what's going to work best for your kids. And if you have any questions about what's available, or let's say there's something you're looking for that's not built into your Chromebook, let me know and we can see what will work for you and for your students. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thanks for watching.